This video will show you how to do the interactive features such as the page navigation and the table of contents in your interactive PDF assignment. So the first thing when you download the images and the kind of the shell of the InDesign file from Titanium, so you're likely to get a message that says this contains 14 links to sources that are missing. That's normal. That's because you have the images, but InDesign doesn't actually put them in there. It puts them in as links. So when I put the images on Titanium, suddenly the ones you download are even though they're the same images, those links are no longer active. So what we're going to hit OK there. It's going to open it up. And we're going to go here, and it can tell us that we have 14 errors. But the quickest way to do this is to simply, you've downloaded the images from Titanium. We're going to go to the links folder, and what we'll do is we'll select one of these, and then if we scroll down, all of ours, and then hold down the Shift key and click again, now we've got them all selected. And what we want to do is see if we can relink all of these at once. And so I'm going to go up here to where these options are, click and hold, and I'm going to say relink to folder. Now in your case, you'll probably have all of these in the download folder. I'm going to have to navigate to the folder where I had them, and that's under this folder called new. So once you've found the folder where you've got them all in, you just say choose, and we suddenly have no errors. It has relinked all those objects, so you've got all your links put back together. All right, let's have a look at this document that I've set up for you that you'll be working on. So if we go to, there's our title page, and on the title page, notice I've got an email address set in there that we will make into a link. You should use your own email address. Here's my table of contents. I've got small images here, thumbnails of the different projects. I don't have the page numbers and things like that. That's going to come in later. I've got the description. I've got the photo of lamb chop. I've got some navigation on here. And then we get into the pages where you've got your typography poster and your self-assessment, navigation, and so on. Next, then the B-movie, same kind of thing as the project 3 is on the next page. Now all of these will have like a project heading, and it's going to be important when you make yours that you set these project headings in the exact same typeface on each one of those pages, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and you're going to make this typeface a paragraph style. And then that's where your video goes. Now, I don't have any interactive features set up here yet. So what I could do if I export this as a PDF, and I want to always choose interactive PDF, and I'll just put this on the desktop for now. And it will pop up in here. And you need to use Acrobat to test your interactive features. But notice that I don't have if I click on my page turns, I haven't set up any of this interactive content yet, and that's what we're going to do in this video. So we're going to set up the interactive content. The other thing I've set up for you in this document is the master pages that you're going to want to be working with. And so to find your master pages, you can go down here on your page navigation this way, and you can see I've got an A master, and I've also got a B master. You can also find your master pages and which pages are assigned to which masters if you go up here into your pages palette here. And so I've got my title page assigned to the A master, and I've got all my other pages assigned to the B master. And the reason I did that is I'm going to put the interactivity on pages 2 through 6, and I don't really want page navigation kind of kind of taking up space on the title page. So that's why I set up 2 masters. You can do it differently if you want to, but you will want to have pages 2 through 6 in your interactive PDF to be under the same master page. Another thing you might notice is on the B master page. If I zoom in a bit here, it has a it has the letter B in a page folio down there. And if I go to page 3, you'll see that page number is already assigned. Same with page 4 and so on and so forth. That's for setting up the page numbers. Now you should already know how to do that from the editorial layout from project 3 because we went through that in one of the lab exercises. So, but if you don't remember how to set up your page numbers through your master page, look back at the video tutorials that were dealing with the labs and the video tutorials for Project 3, and that'll show you how to do those page numbers because you will need page numbers to be active. So, all right, let's jump into getting these interactive features set up. The first thing you want to make sure is that you're working in the interactive for PDF workspace here. Let's go to the email address. That's the easiest one, and that's on page 1. So I've got the email address here. I want to make this link active. What we're going to do is we're going to make that a hyperlink. So to do that, I'm going to select it. So I'm just using my text tool here to select it. I'm going to click on hyperlinks here in the interactive for PDF. And then I'm going to come down to this button here, like where you would make a new layer or wherever, and it says create new hyperlink. And then this dialog box comes up, and the options, yours may default to URL, but what you want to do is make sure that this says email, and email will then change this from an HTTP to the actual email address. All right, so then I click OK, and now its style has changed to the hyperlink, where it's got a different color and it's underlined and things like that. If you want to change that, you can. You can go back into your text tool, select that, and you notice up here it says it's got a hyperlink style, and that's where you can change that if you don't want that that highlight in the underline. But I'm just going to leave it the way it is for now. All right, now let's go to set up our table of contents bookmark. So this is here on the B master, and this we want to make this become a button that is going to take us to page 2, which is the table of contents. And the way we're going to do that is to make page 2 a bookmark. So let's go to page 2, and with page 2 selected, still an interactive for PDF, we're going to click on the bookmarks link, and we're going to say, oops, we're going to say we want a new bookmark. Okay, so we'll give that bookmark a name, table of contents. And now what we'll do is we're done with that part. We've made page 2 a bookmark. Now we're going to go to our B master, and we're going to select this object, and then we're going to go into our buttons and forms and tell it to, anytime you click that, to go to that bookmark that we just made. So I click on, I've got this selected, I go to buttons and forms, and to do that I have to convert this object to a button, and that's down here. So I click on that, converts it to a button. Now it wants to know what type of button we're talking about. And so we're dealing with a button. There are all these other things that you can do for other kind of interactive features. We're just dealing with buttons in this assignment. And then we're going to give this button a name, and we'll call it go to table of contents. And then the event, which means what activates the button, we're going to say we're going to do this on click, just like we did in the previous lab. Now what we have to do is add our action to it. And in this case, what we're going to do is go to destination. When I click on that, our destinations pop up that we have. And we have two destinations in here. We've got the email address that we just made, and then we've got table of contents. So we want table of contents. All right. All right. While we're here, let's go ahead and do the page forward and page back buttons. I'm going to make my screen a little bigger here. Zoom in just a bit. Okay, so that will work very similar to how we did the table of contents. So I'll deselect here. I'm going to select my page forward. We're going to go to buttons and forms. I'm going to say make this a button or convert button to button. And if the type is a button, the name of it would be, let's call it page forward. Event is on click. And then the action, instead of a destination this time, the action is go to next page. All right. Similar, let's do the page back. So select the page back, go to our buttons and forms, convert to button, name the button page back, on click, action, go to previous page. Okay, let's test this and see how it looks. So I'm going to export this as a PDF, as an interactive PDF. So export. Make sure interactive PDF is checked. And save. I'm going to replace the one I had. Okay. So if I hover my cursor over the email address, I can see that it pops up and it says email or mail to R. Meads at Fullerton. I'm not going to actually click on it and start my email here, but I'm going to assume that that's working okay. Remember, you do have to be testing this in Acrobat. Preview will not show you any interactive features. Okay, so now let's see if our table of contents and things like that, if our buttons work. So if I click here, this should take me back to page 2, and it does. If I click page forward, it should take me page forward. If I click page back, it's taking me page back. And so far all the interactive features that we made are working just the way they're supposed to. All right, now let's import our table of contents content. Okay, so for the table of contents, what we want to have happen is we want to get, let me zoom out, we want to get this information, Project 1 typography poster, and Project 2 be movie poster, Project 3 multi-page layout. For video, we want to get that content onto page 2 along with the page numbers. And where I'm going to put this is right under these thumbnails eventually. So that's the thumbnail for the typography poster, that's the thumbnail for the being movie poster, the layout, and then the video. You don't have to do thumbnails if you don't want to. You can just bring the type in, but I've already put some thumbnails in there. So what we need to do is I need to take the type style that is for these section headings. I need to make it a paragraph style. And the paragraph style has to be exactly the same for each one of those section headings, plus this has to be the only place in the document that uses that exact paragraph style. So to do that, I'm going to, it's really not that hard. I'm going to go to my page 3 the first time I'm using this. I'm going to click on on that type there. I need to move out of the interactive for PDF, and I'm going to go into the advanced workspace. And now I've got my paragraph styles available to me. So I've got this highlighted. I click on paragraph styles and I can see that I don't really have any paragraph styles set up. There's just the default basic one. So what I want to do is, while this is highlighted, I click new, create new style, and it's given me paragraph style 1. I'm going to double click on that, and now it's going to give me these options, and I'm going to call this my table of contents, or back to table of contents. I'll just table of contents style. Okay, and I can see that that style is Museo Sans 500, 18 point. The color is RGB 255, 255, 255, which is white, full on for all three of those channels. So I know I've got the right type here. Now you can set up your for your lab assignment, just set it up whatever typeface you want. Just make sure that you're going to use this same style for all of your section headings. All right, so I'm going to say OK to that now. And I've got table of contents set for this page. Now I just need to, or that paragraph style set for this page. Now I just need to apply it to the other pages. So I go to page 4, click on this, and even though it's in that same type, that paragraph style has not been assigned to it yet. So I just click here, table of contents. Now I go to project 3, do the same thing, tag the table of contents paragraph style to that piece of type, and then project 4 video, and tag the table of contents type to that. All right, we've done a lot so far, and we're almost there. So now what we want to do is actually get that content onto our table of contents page. In InDesign, the table of contents function is under the layout menu. So we go to layout, down to table of contents. This dialog box comes up, and it's asking what kind of style we want to apply here. And the one we want to apply is the one we just made, the table of contents. So we click on that, and we say add. And if you want a title for your table of contents, such as contents, that's your default. I'm just going to take the title off because I'm just going to put those pages in there individually. And so I've got my paragraph style applied. Now I hit OK. And you can see there where the cursor is, you see that text that's pasted. You've probably seen that before, like with linked text boxes and things like that. Basically, all I need to do now is go to the page that I want to place this on. So I'm on page 6 now. That's not going to work. So I'm going to go up here to page 2. It's still got it. And I'm just going to click, and that's going to drop that text in there. Now, let's zoom in. Why aren't we seeing the text? The reason we're not seeing the text is it's white. If I drag it over here, I can probably see it. Yeah. And it's also a little bit too big for the space that I have allotted. So what I'm going to do is, let me see, just move this out a little bit. And basically, this is all editable now. So what I can do is I can change the size of it. I'm going to take some, like, project number out of it, change the color and put it into black, and drop it into these areas over here. I'll go ahead and pause the video so that you don't have to watch me do all of that. All right, so this is how I then took the type and pasted it into these areas here. I'm going to do 2 more little things because we don't really need the table of contents link on the table of contents page. So I'm just going to cover that up with a white rectangle. And to do that, I'm just going to draw a rectangle and take the stroke off. White on there, and that should work. All right, so let's test this now. I'm going to save my file, export it as interactive PDF. Zoom out. And so let's see. So if I hover over typography poster, click on it, it takes me to the typography poster. If I go back, if I go hover on the video, it takes me to the video, go back to table of contents. So it looks like all these functions are working just the way they should. So enjoy. It's a little bit complicated, but it makes for an easy to navigate PDF.